Well, that's where we had him at the beginning of the season, and then he was one of those guys that got COVID.
Yeah, right.
Right, and so he missed the first week. So we threw Jack Considine at tight end,
the sophomore.
Yep.
Yep.
And he played great.
Okay.
So we left him there, and then against North Andover, those two guys were platooning.
Yep.
And then Brendan caught mono. So that's why I missed those 4 weeks in the middle of the season.
Okay.
And then we thought we were getting him back, but his numbers weren't right according to the doctor, so we had to wait another week.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So thankfully, like he's one of our dudes.
But I was going to say,
and
he for what he lack in speed, he makes up for in toughness.
Well,
he grinds it out.
Yes, so we moved him to B because we think he's great at blocking. He's one of our best. You go from a tight end. All the B does when he blocks is block down.
Okay.
And he's great. I mean,
is that
last
a fullback
week
in your offense?
Well, it's a wing back.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where, like last week, we were able to run a lot of that buck sweep and that Trojan off tackle because Brendan was one of those guys with the tight end sealing over there, and then we lost two of our F backs, our first F back and our second F back coming this week. So we converted.
Oh, Sullivan was out too, right?
Yeah. So Logan and Brendan hopped in. I mean, that's what you want, guys that want to do that, and we needed them.
Well, and Logan being a senior.
Yep.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Really nice on that end around.
Well,
around the end.
that's a play that he ran as a quarterback, so he had a great feel for that. And like, if you figure it out, this kid's in when we run this play, that kid's in when we want to run that play, and because they each have a feel for it. Now with maybe another week under their belt, we can kind of, you take the whole drive, or you take this drive instead of this play you go in and this play you go in. I mean, it makes it easier for me to play call when I can just keep a guy in there.
Some real big defensive stops too, I thought.
Yeah.
Holding on fourth down in key times, coming up with some fumbles.
Yep.
Was it what Jackson Champlain had one?
Yep.
And was it 4 or 5 that had one? I gotta look it up.
I think it was Osman that had that one, right?
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't had a lot of. Thank you, Anthony.
Hey, Phil, hi.
Anthony, how are you? Good to see you.
So turnovers haven't been at a premium for us. You know, like we've been giving teams a lot of opportunities, so it was nice to be on the plus side this week.
How much of it were you able to get these guys and to believe in themselves a little bit during that the week between the Swampscott win and now? I mean, where they've known for a while, it's not going to be the playoffs, so you still got to get them to want to play, and hey, there's something to play for here, and let's end the season on a nice little streak.
The seniors have bought in. The seniors have bought into them laying the groundworks for the next wave, right? And I don't think that would have happened earlier in the season. I think we had to go through some growing pains, right? Which physically mature. We weren't as mature as I think we're getting there now. So they decided before Swampscott, after the Marblehead game, that we're gonna this isn't for us anymore. We're not going to be selfish. We're going to make it for the juniors. We're going to make it for the sophomores. We're going to put this program back for the future, and then they've been practicing hard, working hard. They've been believing, right? And especially when you beat a team like Swampscott that they haven't beaten in a while, that gives you some juice. Yeah. So we played like it today.
So you're going to ask for another bye week? We're
not opting out. We want to play. We want to play. Who knows where we'll be? Hopefully we'll find out Sunday instead of waiting until 4 o'clock Monday like this week.
On the road, I would think.
I don't know.
Well, when you get
usually you get every other. I mean, sometimes I know some guys on a committee, and we'll cross our fingers, and we'd still be lopsided. This is only our 4th home game, and we have 5 away games.
That's
so
right. Okay.
To balance it out, it'd be nice to get 5 and 5. So I mean, we send that in, and they take some of that in consideration, but. Usually if you get a home, you're on the road next week. So.
You mentioned balance. Your offensive balance between run and pass was nearly identical this afternoon.
Yeah.
Which really has to give the defense headaches, because what are they going to do, because they're doing both well?
Well, I mean, we had, 5 drives, and we scored on 4 of them, and we should have scored on the other one. We had a touchdown taken off the board because of penalties. It's like, that was us. That was a microcosm of how we've been this whole season, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, but because we've gained some confidence where that who cares next play mentality, we've got back on track after we got a stop on D, and right down here we go.
I'm going to ask you too, I know we've talked about him before, but Matt Sopp, it seems to me, I think he's consistently been your best player this season.
Oh yeah.
He's out there playing like every play matters to him.
Yeah.
2 really big touchdown grabs today, and the catch down here where he took the ball away from that defender, I thought was momentum.
Ball.
That was a
we needed that.
swing play.
7-7 at that point.
And it was a 4th down play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right? What can other guys learn from a player like him? Not the biggest, not the fastest, not the strongest, but
a kid like that works hard, right? And he works hard at his craft. Like he's out there pre-practice, working on his steps, working on routes. He and Brian are out there working on their routes. So like just that type of stuff. Like you can't just show up. You've got to do more. And Matt's really buying into now I've got to show. Like I'm the captain, and I was this as a captain, but now I've got to do more.
Yeah.
Right. I've got to be the example. I got to set the example. And I think, like we said, we needed to grow up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the guys that's been really, important in our growth that way.
Even Kessel, I feel like, has really improved his quarterback play, decision making.
Yeah.
He's not doesn't have the happy feet that I saw early on, and he's making better decisions when he gets flushed out of the pocket. I feel like.
So we've been working on it a lot, and Brian's one of those guys that when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, it's never just one play. It's
166 today.
A few plays in a row before we get back on track, and that's just something that's just him. It's in his ears, between his ears, that type of deal, and just get more confident. Today he played loose, and it showed. Like he made some really good decisions. Yes, he's getting smarter. We tell him sometimes an incomplete pass is the best play.
Right.
You don't have to try to throw a touchdown every play. It's not Madden football. It's okay. Run out of bounds. Like, get the first down or take a 1 yard loss instead of trying to throw a pick in a crowd. So he's growing and maturing as a quarterback too.
Late in the game, he took a sack.
Yep.
He could have tried to have thrown it down the field, but it would have been a dangerous pass along the near sideline.
Oh yeah.
And we were talking amongst ourselves up top, and it seems like he sensed the pressure coming and just ate the ball.
We knew that, we know their coach, and we know that their mentality is you're either going to get us for a 7-yard touchdown, we're going to get you for a 7-yard loss, right? They brought a lot of heat, and we've been running it, and their safety kept getting closer and closer and closer, and that play's been open a couple times for us this year, and we figured this is the down to take a shot. And that was a smart play because some other times this year, like you said, yes, we would have tried to force something out of nothing. So, yeah.